Well, we know this pandemic has put a strain on a lot of families and personal finances, and you might be wondering, how will this affect your credit score and what that all means? Well, we have financial expert and Chicagoan Lynn Richardson here to break it all down. Welcome, Lynn.
Hey, I love hearing that, Chicago, and yay!
Right, we got to put that in the intro.
Exactly. Lynn, it's always so good to hear from you. We're talking credit score. I think everybody knows what a credit score is, but if you want to briefly touch on that, but how are credit scores calculated?
So a credit score is basically a report card for how you have paid your bills for the past 2 years. The past 2 years of payment activity is going to have the most significant impact on the credit score. And how is it calculated? Well, I think it's a mystery to everyone because nobody has the exact calculation. However, it's a combination of, have you paid your bills on time? How much credit have you used? And how long have you used your credit? So you don't want any 30-day lates. If you can avoid that, that's going to be great. The second thing is you want to keep your credit utilization low. If your credit limit is $1,000, you don't want to spend more than $300. And then the longer your credit history is in place, the better your score.
And then how long does it take, say, if you have something bad on your credit report? Because I remember I tried to get out of paying some college loans, and that haunted me for a long time.
Oh my goodness, how many of us have done that? Let me raise my hand. When I was in college, I had way too many credit cards, couldn't pay anybody. So if you have any delinquent credit, if you've got a late payment, if you've got a collection, if you've got any kind of judgments, in most cases, it's going to take 7 years. 7 years. 7 years to get rid of something that's ugly. And one of the mistakes that a lot of people make is they'll pay their larger bills, like a car note, and then they'll skip the $10 credit card bill. Well, the $10 credit card bill is just as powerful in negatively impacting the credit score as the car note.
Okay. So when should people check their credit scores? I feel like this is one of the things that's probably the most difficult because it seems like, oh, you get a free check every year, but it's always some kind of like, well, is it free? Is it not free? Where do you go to do it? Clear this up for us, Lynn.
Yeah, so you can go and check your credit report, annualcreditreport.com. You're entitled to a credit report, a free credit report every single year.
And they're not going to charge you? Because some people are scared of that because they always say free, and then when you get to the website, oh, you got to sign up for, you know, X, Y, and Z.
Yeah, well, annual credit report definitely will not charge you. Now, in terms of getting your credit score, you're not going to get a free credit score there. You're going to get the actual report. You can go to Credit Karma and get a free credit score. However, you're only going to get 2 credit scores. There's TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. You're only going to get TransUnion and Equifax at Credit Karma. If you want to go and splurge and spend $29, you can get all 3 of your credit scores at myfico.com. These are the scores that are most likely going to be looked at by a lender, a mortgage lender, a car finance company. And you can get a subscription so you can see your credit score change every single day, anytime something hits your credit report.
Okay, now if people are in financial hardship right now, where are your priorities on making payments so that you can kind of stay in good standings?
So the first priority is food. You want to keep food on the table. That literally is the first priority. Everything else goes in priority order according to the creditor's basically their terms and conditions. So everyone should call every single creditor that you have, especially if you've been furloughed, if you've lost an income. You want to get pen and paper, you want to get a notebook, you want to speak to someone, ask for their name, their extension, as much information as you can, and you want to ask for the maximum amount of time to extend the payment of that bill. It can be your mortgage. There's a suspension on government mortgages. There's a suspension on student loans. You want to contact your car company, your credit card company, and you want to ask for as much time as possible. Now is not the time to be a credit hero. Now is not the time to be a money hero. Now is the time to ask for the help that you need and protect your credit at the same time. After you find out which of your creditors are going to allow you an extension of time to pay, then you want to pay those creditors who are not offering extensions. And I would also say, make sure you call those creditors back. Call them every day, every other day, because many creditors are changing their policies day by day.
Wow, that's some really good information. So,
yeah, I got one more question on that as a follow-up. If you have a lot of different credit cards, a lot of credit cards right now are doing like 0% APR for the next 14 months. And if that's true, shouldn't you consolidate all of that into one card?
If you can consolidate as much debt as possible onto 1 or 2 credit cards for 0% interest, that's ultimately the best thing that you can do. You want to do so as long as you don't close out your other credit cards. So you want to pay them off, but you don't want to close them, because if you close them, you will eliminate that entire credit history. I've seen people go from 700 to 600 credit score simply by closing out credit cards that had a long, excellent payment history.
Right. I was going to ask that, but you already answered it. That's how good you are, Lynn, because you do need to show history. You need to show payment history. So, Lynn, thank you so much. For more financial tips from Lynn Richardson, head to her website, asklynn.org. We'll be right back.